Hi, I'm Audra Draska, Chair of APC Media's Executive Editorial Board, the team behind Power Systems Technology, Transformer Technology, and Women in Power Systems. This year, we launched our new Power Players program to spotlight companies driving real innovation in the energy transition. And we were proud to kick it off at Seagrey, Montreal this past September. As part of the program, we invited exhibitors to share what they're bringing to the industry, and we were inspired by the many submissions received. After careful review, we're proud to announce the 2025 Power Players. Peak Performer, Inline. Innovation Standout, Grid Raven. Emerging Solution, Heimdall Power. And we were also excited to recognize two honorable mentions, Epsilon Cable and Asset Cool. Each of these companies will be featured in our post-event coverage, including interviews, editorial features, and more.
On behalf of Power Systems Technology Magazine, I'm here at Seagrey 2025 in Montreal, Canada, to introduce folks who are involved in the Power Players program, a new program highlighting those who are innovating in the energy transition. Our first company that we're going to introduce is Inline. Inline is a peak performer, and here we have Walton Lawrence. Jen Lands, welcome. Thank you to you. Now, tell me a little bit about your experience in the industry, just briefly, and a little bit about Inline and what you're doing with the energy transition.
Okay. So I'll give you a little background on me very briefly. I entered the big problem solutions business 25 years ago, and about 4 years ago, we started seeing a prevalence of these utility-based fires that have been averaging around $25 to $30 billion of incurred damage costs that are started from utilities. Okay. It happened in California, and then it happened in Maui, and then it happened again in California, and I just decided this is a problem that needs to be solved. So I went on a hunt and studied all over the world to find Inline and determined that they have the most valuable proposition for North America of any service provider in the utility services business.
Now, I understand that you have activity all over the world.
Yes.
Many countries, but the North American area is new for you, is that right?
It is. We decided to enter North America 4 months ago. Currently, we're operational in 38 different countries across the world, including 32 different TSOs, transmission service operators. And we've proven our concept across the world, but we knew we needed to have everything nailed down and definitive with case studies and metrics before we came to this proving ground, which is much more challenging to enter into. So that's what led to this evolution.
And what, just in very short words, what is it your technology, what does it do, and how are you unique in that space?
Certainly. Well, this all started, I guess, about 4 years ago when FERC came out with the 881 regulatory mandate that stated that they needed to do ambient adjusted rating on all the utilities to try to enhance the amount of capacity pushed through the existing infrastructure.
Okay, and this is the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission.
Yes, because they knew that this data center push was going to require an extraordinary amount of demand, but to build all of that transmission infrastructure was going to take too long. So they had to figure out how to enhance the capabilities of the existing grid.
I see.
And there's a term called GETS, which is Grid Enhancing Technologies.
Okay.
That is the kind of the buzzword that's being pushed across all of North America. And we are an integral part of the GETS solution.
Okay.
Our lead platform which is a digital twin replica of the actual transmission lines that is created in a virtual environment. And we're able to lead with our best offering, which is dynamic line rating. Dynamic line rating is a foundational offering that is very much of interest to all of the transmission operators in North America.
I've heard great things about the prospects. I've even seen some 30% improvements online.
That's a very fair statement.
But how is it that you're unique in this space?
We are very unique. We're filling a value gap that exists in North America. We are dramatically less expensive with the same functional capability. And in much lesser time to deploy. So we can go wider, faster, cover more area with less capital expense,
Okay.
which matters in this industry because you can't pass on the adders. Some of these adders, they can't amortize it back to the client.
And is that with sensors or with measurements on sensors that are...
We are able to circumvent the need for hardware.
Wow.
And
Great.
that is our secret sauce.
Okay.
We utilize physics and all kinds of different wonderful algorithms
Okay.
to replicate in real time the dynamic operational situation of the transmission line. So we can monitor temperature, wind down to 10-meter level in real time and calculate all of the functional capabilities necessary to achieve north of a 20% increase in capacity on an average.
That is so important as we work to add more generation over the same existing lines to get support data centers and electrification. I can only see this is going to be more and more important. And I guess that's why you've been identified as a peak performer. Well, Walton, great to meet you. And congratulations on the award.
Thank you so much for including us.
Of course. Our next award category is Innovation Standout, awarded to Grid Raven. And here at Grid Raven, we have George Root. George, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
George, tell me about Grid Raven.
So Grid Raven's the world's largest provider of dynamic line ratings.
Dynamic line rating. That is a hot topic right now.
It is, and it's also a niche topic, but what it means really is that it's a method for getting more capacity out of the existing grid.
So important, right? I mean, we have all this AI, low demand, electrification to get more out of the existing grid. So tell me, how do you do that?
Yeah, so the key is that the capacity of the grid is forecasted by grid operators today. Anyway, they look into tomorrow, they see how much capacity there is.
Right.
And if there's a constraint in the lines, they will turn some power plants off and turn some other ones on so that the power system is not overloaded.
Right.
But in that forecast, they have to calculate the capacity of the transmission lines, and they do that on the basis of assumptions. And one of those assumptions, the most important one, is the weather. Because the physical capacity of the transmission lines, it overheats if electricity goes through, and it has a maximum temperature, but whether it actually overheats or not depends on how much wind there is, if it's colder, sunnier. So we have the world's most accurate wind and weather prediction, with which we can tell the grid operators how much capacity there really is in the network for tomorrow at 4 p.m. With extreme detail and resolution.
Interesting. So you're offering that as a service, and how do you get that information and how you deliver it to the customer?
Correct. So we offer it as a installable software or a server, or if they prefer it in the cloud, but usually with cybersecurity reasons it has to be installed on premise. And what the data we use are existing weather models. Then we also have a 3D map of all of the United States and most of Europe and most of the world to within 1 meter resolution. We know where all the trees and buildings are.
Oh,
And that's the key part that we do that nobody else in the world is able to do at the moment, is to predict wind behind trees where the power lines are. So you might have a power line that's 100 miles long.
okay.
And if even a short segment of that is sheltered by trees, then that part would overheat if you just use existing weather models.
That's it.
So we take into account every tree that's sheltering the line.
Fascinating.
And predicting wind specifically there, so that we can tell with full confidence how much capacity that line is able to carry in every part tomorrow. And we offer that as then data that goes into the control room. So the grid operators who sit behind the massive screens that look at the power system, they have that data from us onto their screen. We don't offer it, we just offer the data that's connected to the machine.
Fantastic. And so how long have you been at this? I mean, this is really a more recent phenomena to want to be able to squeeze this much out of the grid, but how long have you been doing this?
So Grid Raven itself is 2 years old.
Okay.
However, our team has decades of experience. I worked in a transmission before. Our co-founders have as well. And anybody who started doing dynamic line ratings more than 2 years ago will have gone down a dead-end route, for the reason because the fundamental technologies that we are using are quite new, but also the data that we're using to do it is also new. So it's only possible in the last few years to do what we're doing.
Fantastic. Well, we're here at Seagray 2025, and What are you hearing on the street here as you're engaging folks about industry challenges?
What I see is that the whole topic of dynamic line ratings has really gained momentum. Like last year when we were here, we were talking about the software approach, that you can get more capacity of the grid without having to install hardware and everywhere. But now this year that seems to be the default or the setting, so it's clear that the solution is becoming mainstream.
Right.
So that's one thing, and also the problems in the grid are global. I'm really happy to see people from all over the world approach us here now, pointing to constraints or challenges they have between moving power to where it's needed, and they're coming to ask us whether we can help with that. So that's really great to see, and we're already working on 3 continents. We're already scaling globally. The solution is already available. So I'm here and I'm meeting people and talking about real implementations, which is wonderful.
Well, that's excellent, George. Congratulations on Innovation Standout Award, and to Grid Raven. Sounds like you've got a great opportunity at a great moment in our industry.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. The next award in our Power Players program is Emerging Solutions, and that goes to Emerald Power. And please tell me the pronunciation of your company's name.
Heimdall Power.
Heimdall Power.
Heimdall Power.
And you're Michael?
Michael Kilpatrick. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And tell me, Michael, about this amazing product. This looks like almost like an R2-D2 type of...
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So this is called the Neuron. So the Neuron is placed on energized transmission lines. And what it does is it gives utilities grid intelligence about what's happening on their transmission lines so they can make better decisions about how to manage their grid.
So this goes on the line.
Yeah.
And how do you get it there?
So you get it there, you could do a couple different ways. You could use a hot stick and a bucket truck, a typical way, or you can use an autonomous drone. Once we use our autonomous drone, it can take about 2 minutes, and it can be on the line producing data for the utilities to utilize.
So you can fly this thing up with a drone. So then does it harvest power from the line, or does it use batteries? How does that work?
It does. So it harvests power from the line, and then if the line were to go down, we have backup power that will keep it on the line for about 6 months.
No kidding. And so what kind of information is it giving the utilities, and how does it help them make better decisions?
Sure. So ultimately, we're able to calculate dynamic line rating.
Okay.
So what that allows utilities to do is to understand in real time what that transmission line is capable of producing versus historically, they've had static line ratings, which will have winter and summer ratings. Now we can calculate it in real time and see how the grid can benefit them.
Wow, that's great. So how frequently do you need to put these?
So we're typically putting one sensor about every 1.5 to 2 miles. So over the 10-mile span, it'll be about 6 of these neurons.
Okay. And when you get this information, this is critical. Transmission is a choke point right now for rectification and energizing all of this AI that we want to do.
Yeah,
so how much do you think this is going to improve the system when you have a good measurement of what's actually being transmitted down the line?
Oh, I think it's going to be critical, right? So you do have a need throughout the world for increased infrastructure, right? And so with this, you can better utilize what you have, and then you can also harvest new developments and new installations and have more intelligence. And so think about the fact that, when a lot of this infrastructure was built in the 50s and 60s, you didn't have this level of intelligence. And now you do, and you can make better decisions because of it.
Well, I can see why this is winning the award category of Emerging Solutions. This is really cool.
The star of the show.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Michael.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you to everyone who participated and shared your stories. It truly takes an ecosystem to power this industry, and we're honored to help spotlight the people and solutions leading the way. Stay tuned for more, and we look forward to seeing you in our next Power Players Innovation Program.